The wedding ring was made from a twisted piece of wire. No diamond, no gold. Just wire that a homeless man had shaped with his own hands under a bridge. When Chioma's father saw it on her finger at the family dinner table, his fork dropped. The sound of metal hitting the plate echoed through the silent dining room like thunder. What happened next would tear a family apart and reveal a truth that nobody expected. Before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy stories like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with someone who'd love it too. Chioma Okafor was everything a billionaire's daughter should be. Beautiful, educated, well-mannered. She had studied at the best universities in London and returned to Nigeria with degrees that impressed everyone. At 26 years old, she was the pride of the Okafor family. Her father, Chief Okafor, owned the largest real estate company in Nigeria. Her mother, Lady Okafor, was on the board of 5 charity organizations. Her 2 brothers ran different branches of the family business. The Okafors were not just rich, they were powerful. They were respected. They were untouchable. Chioma lived in a separate wing of the family mansion in Lekki. She drove a Range Rover. She wore clothes from Paris and Milan. On the outside, her life looked perfect. But Chioma had a secret that had started 6 months ago when her car broke down in a part of Lagos she had no business being in. It was a rainy Tuesday evening. Chioma had been driving back from a business meeting when her car suddenly stopped on a busy street in Mushin. The engine died. Her phone battery was dead. She was stuck in one of the roughest neighborhoods in Lagos, in an expensive car, wearing expensive jewelry, with no way to call for help. That's when she saw him. A man in torn clothes walked up to her car window. His hair was rough and uncombed.
His face had not seen a razor in weeks. He looked like he had not eaten a proper meal in days. Chioma locked her doors immediately. But the man didn't try to open her door. He simply knocked gently on the window. "Madam," he said, his voice surprisingly gentle, "your car has problem?" Chioma cracked the window just a little. "Yes, the engine stopped." "You call mechanic?" "My phone is dead." The man nodded. "I can help. I know small thing about cars. Before life scatter for me, I used to work as mechanic." Every warning bell in Chioma's head was ringing. Don't trust strangers. Don't let poor people near you. These were the rules she had grown up with. But something in the man's eyes made her hesitate. There was kindness there, honesty, no threat. "Okay," she heard herself say, "but I'm watching you." The man smiled sadly, like he was used to being treated with suspicion. He walked to the front of the car and asked her to open the hood. For the next 20 minutes, he worked on the engine while rain poured down on him. He didn't complain. He didn't ask for anything. Finally, he knocked on her window again. "Try to start now." Chioma turned the key. The engine roared to life. She couldn't believe it. "Thank you," she said, genuinely surprised. She reached into her bag and pulled out a 1,000 naira note. "Please, take this." The man looked at the money for a long moment. Then he shook his head. "No, thank you, madam.
I no do for money. I do because you need help. Before Chioma could insist, he walked away, disappearing into the rain and the crowd. She sat in her car, stunned. She had just met a homeless man who refused money in Lagos, where everyone was always looking for what to gain. She couldn't stop thinking about him for days. 2 weeks later, Chioma found herself driving back to that same street. She told herself she was just curious. She wanted to thank the man properly. But deep down, she knew it was more than that.
She found him sleeping under a bridge, his few belongings in a torn bag beside him. When her car pulled up, he woke and recognized her immediately. "Madame," he said, standing up quickly, "your car get problem again?" "No," Chioma said, stepping out. She was wearing simple clothes this time. "I came to thank you properly and to ask you something. What's your name?" "Emeka. My name na Emeka." "Emeka, I want to help you. Can I buy you food?" Emeka smiled that same sad smile. "You kind, madam, but I no need charity. I just need chance." "Chance for what?" "To start again. To be person where people go respect again." Chioma sat down on a low wall nearby. "Tell me your story, Emeka." And so Emeka told her. He had been a university graduate, studied mechanical engineering, got a good job with an oil company, was engaged to be married. But then the company went bankrupt. Jobs disappeared. His fiancée left him. His family disowned him for failing. He lost everything. Depression ate away at his hope. Before he knew it, he was on the streets. "But I never lose my brain," Emeka said, pointing to his head. "And I never lose my heart. Now only my pocket empty. But person where pocket empty, no be say the person worthless." Those words struck Chioma like lightning. Her whole life she had been taught that worth and wealth were the same thing, that poor people were poor because they were lazy or stupid. But here was Emeka with nothing, teaching her something her expensive education had never taught her. Worth is not measured by money. From that day, Chioma kept coming back. At first, once a week, then twice, then almost every day. She would bring food and they would sit under that bridge and talk about life, about dreams, about everything. She discovered that Emeka was brilliant. He quoted Shakespeare and Soyinka. He discussed economics and engineering. He made her laugh with his jokes and think deeply with his observations. He never asked her for money. He just treated her like a human being, not like a billionaire's daughter. For the first time in her life, Chioma felt like someone saw her, really saw her. Not her money, not her family name, just her. And slowly, without planning it, Chioma fell in love with Emeka. It terrified her. How could she love a homeless man? What would her family say? Her parents had already arranged for her to marry the son of another wealthy family. But when she was with Emeka, none of that mattered. One evening, sitting under their bridge as the sun set, Emeka turned to her and said, "Chioma, I know say you be big person. I know say I be nothing. But I want tell you something.
What? Chioma asked, her heart beating fast. I love you. I no get money to give you. I no get house to carry you. But I get heart way full of love for you. Pure love. I no fit offer you mansion or car or jewelry. But I fit offer you respect, loyalty, and love way go last forever. Tears filled Chioma's eyes. Emeka, I love you too. And I don't care about mansions or cars. I care about who you are. But your family, I know, they will never accept you. But Emeka, I'm tired of living for them. I want to be with you. You sure? Because this decision will cost you everything. Chioma looked at him, at his honest eyes, at his gentle face. Yes, I'm ready. They got married in secret. No big church, no fancy reception, just a small room in a pastor's house. Chioma wore a simple white dress from the market. Emeka wore the best clothes Chioma had bought him. The ring Emeka gave her was made from wire he had twisted and shaped himself. It had no monetary value, but to Chioma, it was more precious than any diamond. With this ring, Emeka said, his voice shaking, I promise to love you, respect you, and protect you for the rest of my life. Chioma cried as she put a simple band on his finger. And I promise to stand by you, in poverty and in wealth, forever. They cried as the pastor pronounced them husband and wife. For that moment, they were the richest people in the world. Chioma knew she couldn't hide the marriage forever, but she had hoped to have more time. Fate had other plans. It was a Sunday evening, and the entire Okafo family was gathered for dinner at the mansion. Everyone dressed formally. The table was set with expensive china. Servants brought course after course of expensive food. Chioma was wearing her wire ring on a chain around her neck, hidden under her dress. Just feeling it there gave her courage. But then her nephew, her brother's 8-year-old son, was playing with Chioma's necklace when the chain broke. The ring fell out and bounced across the table, landing right in front of Chief Okafo. The entire room went silent. Chief Okafo picked up the ring slowly, examining it with disgust. What is this? He asked, his voice dangerously quiet. Chioma's heart hammered in her chest. It's a ring, father. I can see it's a ring. Why are you wearing it? Because I'm married. Before we continue this explosive revelation, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy stories like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with someone who'd love it too. The room exploded. What? Lady Okafo screamed, dropping her wine glass. Married? Her older brother stood up. To who? Chief Okafo just stared at the wire ring. Who did you marry? His name is Emeka, Chioma said. He's a good man, intelligent, kind. What family is he from? What does his father do? How much is he worth? Chioma swallowed hard. He doesn't have money, father. He was homeless when I met him. Homeless? Lady Okafo actually fainted. You married a beggar? Chief Okafor threw the ring across the room. "Don't call him that!" Chioma stood up. "He's not a beggar. He's a human being. He's intelligent, hardworking, and decent. He loves me for who I am, not for your money."
"Love?" Her brother laughed bitterly. "He's a con man. He saw a rich fool and took advantage." "He never asked me for money. Never. He even refused when I offered." Chief Okafor stood up slowly. "Where is he? This Emeka. Where is your husband?" "Why?" "Because I want to meet the man who has destroyed my daughter's life. Bring him here. Tomorrow. Let him face me like a man." The next evening, Chioma brought Emeka to the mansion. He stood at the gate and looked up at the massive building. "This na where you been to live?" he asked quietly. "Yes," Chioma said, holding his hand. "But it's not my home anymore. You are my home." The entire family was waiting in the living room. Chief Okafor sat in a large chair like a king on a throne. Lady Okafor sat beside him, her face twisted with disgust. The brothers stood behind their father. When they saw Emeka in his simple clothes, the disgust on their faces deepened. "So this is him," Chief Okafor said coldly. "What is your plan? How much money do you want to disappear from my daughter's life?" "Sir, I don't want your money. I never want them," Emeka said respectfully. "Everyone wants money. Name yours. 5 million? 10 million? "Sir, even if you offer me 1 billion naira, I no go leave Chioma. I love her, and she na my wife." Chief Okafor's eyes flashed with anger. "You dare? Do you know who I am? I can destroy you with one phone call." "I know wetin you fit do, sir, but I no go run. Because running go mean say I abandon my wife." "You think you're a man?" Chioma's brother stepped forward. "A man provides. What do you have? Nothing." "Maybe," Emeka said quietly, "but I go dey with her. I no go leave her to suffer alone. Can you talk same thing?" The question hit like a bomb. Everyone in that room knew the truth. The Okafors were rich, but they were not close. "Get out," Lady Okafor hissed. "And you," Chief Okafor pointed at Chioma, "if you walk out that door with him, you are no longer my daughter. I will cut you off completely. No money, no inheritance, nothing. Is that what you want?" Chioma looked at her family, then at Emeka. The choice was clear. "I'm sorry, father," she said, tears streaming, "but I choose love over money. I choose Emeka." She took Emeka's hand and walked toward the door. "If you leave now, there's no coming back," Chief Okafor shouted. Chioma didn't turn around. She kept walking. And as they walked down the street hand in hand, she didn't feel sad. She felt free. The next 6 months were the hardest of Chioma's life. They lived in a single room in a cheap neighborhood. The room was so small that the bed took up most of the space. The roof leaked when it rained. Chioma, who had grown up with servants, now had to cook, clean, and wash clothes by hand. Her soft hands developed calluses. Her expensive clothes were sold off one by one to pay for food and rent. She got a job as a teacher in a public school. The pay was terrible. Emeka got a job as a mechanic. The owner paid him very little, but he worked harder than anyone else. Some nights, they would sit in their small room eating rice by candlelight because there was no money for electricity. And Chioma's family's words would echo in her head. But then Emeka would take her hand and say, "I know say this no be waiting you used to, but I promise you we go rise again. Not with your family money, but with our own hand." And Chioma would realize she was happier here, in poverty with Emeka,
than she had ever been in wealth without love. 1 year after leaving her family, something changed everything. Emeka had been working on a project in his spare time. He noticed that many mechanics were using old, inefficient techniques. He designed a new kind of tool that could make car repairs faster and cheaper. He worked on it late at night, using scraps and recycled materials. Finally, he had something that worked, something revolutionary. "Shoma," he said one evening, his eyes shining, "I think I create something where fit change everything. But I need small money to make proper prototype." "How much?" "About 200,000 naira. They didn't have that kind of money. But Choma believed in her husband. She sold the last of her jewelry. She gave Emeka the money. "Make this dream work," she said. "I believe in you." 3 months later, Emeka presented his invention at an engineering conference. A businessman saw it and was amazed. He immediately offered to invest, to manufacture it, to sell it across Nigeria and beyond. Within 6 months, Emeka's invention was being used in mechanic shops all over West Africa. Orders came from other countries. Money flowed in. Real money. Emeka and Choma moved from their small room to a modest house, then to a better house, then to a mansion of their own. Not as big as her family's mansion, but comfortable, beautiful, earned. More importantly, Emeka started a foundation to help homeless people get job training. He never forgot where he came from. 2 years after she left, Choma received a phone call. It was her younger brother. "Choma," he said, "it's father. He had a stroke. He's in the hospital. The doctors say he might not make it." Choma felt like someone had punched her in the stomach. "Where is he?" "Lagos University Teaching Hospital. But mother says you're not welcome." "I'm coming anyway." She and Emeka drove to the hospital. When they walked into the ward, the whole family was there. Her mother looked up, her face twisted with anger. "What are you doing here?" Lady Okafor hissed. "He's my father," Choma said simply. She walked to the bed where Chief Okafor lay. Tubes and wires connected to his body. He looked small, weak. When he saw her, something flickered in his eyes. "Father," Choma said, taking his hand, "I'm here." Chief Okafor's mouth moved. "Chi, Oma," he whispered. Wrong. I was wrong." Tears filled Choma's eyes. That man, he looked at Emeka. He stayed. Even when hard, real man, I was wrong. Lady Okafor gasped. The brothers looked shocked. "I'm sorry, daughter," Chief Okafor continued. "I chose pride over love, money over family. Forgive me." Choma couldn't hold back tears. "I forgive you, father." Chief Okafor smiled weakly. Then he looked at Emeka. "Thank you for loving my daughter, for being man I couldn't be." Emeka nodded, unable to speak. "Family," Chief Okafor looked around. "Welcome them back. Promise me." One by one, Choma's family nodded. Her mother cried. Her brothers apologized. Healing began. Chief Okafor died 3 days later, but he died in peace, his family reunited. At Chief Okafor's funeral, Emeka gave a speech that shocked everyone. "I know Chief Okafor well," he said. "He reject me, he try to buy me out, he treat me like I be nothing. But the last thing where Chief do show me something important. He admits say he wrong. He apologize. He choose love over pride. That kind humility na the real mark of great man. Not money, not power, but the ability to change. Chief Okafor teach me that lesson, and I go forever grateful. There was not a dry eye in the church. After the funeral, Lady Okafor approached them. "I was wrong," she said simply. "I judged your husband by his poverty instead of his character. Can you forgive me?" "Yes, Mama," Chioma said, embracing her. "Thank you for loving my daughter," Lady Okafor told Emeka. "You are a good man." 5 years later, Emeka and Chioma sat on their veranda, watching their 2 children play in the garden. The house was beautiful, but not excessive. They had wealth now, but it didn't define them. "You ever regret, Emeka asked. "Marrying me? Leaving everything?" Chioma smiled. "Every single day." Emeka's face fell. "I regret it because I wish I had done it sooner. The audience I have is not choosing you earlier." Emeka laughed and pulled her close. "You know, say that wire ring, I still they keep 'em. Even though now I fit afford diamond, wey cost millions, that wire ring still be my favorite." "That's why I'm wearing it now," Chioma said, showing the wire ring on her finger. Next to it was an expensive wedding band, but the wire ring was what she cherished. "This ring reminds me of what really matters. Not the cost, but the love." Their children ran up. "Daddy, tell us the story again." "Which story?" "How you and Mommy met, how you fixed her car, how you married her with a wire ring." Emeka gathered his children close. "Okay. Once upon a time, there was a homeless man who had nothing. And there was a billionaire's daughter who had everything. And they taught each other the most important lesson in life." "What lesson?" "That love is not about what you have. It's about who you are. That wealth is not measured in money, but in character. That the poorest person can be rich in spirit, and the richest person can be poor in soul. And that when you choose love over everything else, you choose the only thing that truly matters." The children listened with wide eyes, knowing this story was important. This story was their heritage, the foundation of their family. As the sun set, Chioma and Emeka held hands, their wire ring and wedding band touching, symbolizing their journey. From poverty to wealth, from rejection to acceptance, from judgment to love. But most importantly, from 2 separate people to one united family, built not on money or status, but on truth, respect, and love that conquered all. The moral lessons. 1. Character over wealth. True worth is measured by who you are, not what you have. A person's character is more important than their bank account. 2. Love transcends class. Real love sees the person, not their social status. Love doesn't ask, "What can you give me?" but "Who are you truly?" 3. Courage to choose. Sometimes the right choice is the hardest choice. Following your heart often means going against family and society. 4. Pride is a prison. Chief Okafor's pride almost cost him his relationship with his daughter. Pride prevents healing and growth. 5. Struggle builds strength. Chioma's time in poverty didn't destroy her. It strengthened her
and taught her appreciation and humility. 6. Never judge by appearance. The family judged Emeka by his homeless status, missing the brilliant, honorable man underneath. 7. Forgiveness brings peace. Chief Okafor found peace by admitting his mistake. Holding resentment only hurts ourselves. 8. True security comes from love. Chioma felt more secure in a small room with Emeka than in a mansion without love. 9. Circumstances don't define your future. Emeka was homeless but didn't let that define him. He used his skills to create a new future. 10. The best things cannot be bought. Love, respect, loyalty, peace. These are priceless treasures money cannot purchase. The story teaches us that love is the only wealth that truly matters. Everything else is temporary, but love, real love, lasts forever.